Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. We're having a sale, and it's a big one on our coaching programs, which include our Comfort Care Family Coach program and our Certified Caregiving Consultant Training program. I have been thinking about this one, and I am going to do what I've been thinking about. Here's what it's going to be. It's a scholar sale, which in essence is a way to enroll as if you had received a scholarship. Again, it's on our two programs that teach you how to coach and consult with family caregivers. Our Comfort Care Family Coach program is very specific to supporting family caregivers once their caree starts palliative care services. So it's very much around the last years of a caree's life and then supporting that family caregiver after caregiving ends. So it's specific to a couple stages of the caregiving experience. And I think of those as stage 4, when a family caregiver is pragmatic and a caree is declining and qualifies for palliative care, through stage 5, which is the transitioning caregiver, and into stage 6, which is the Godspeed caregiver. And then our other program is our Certified Caregiving Consultant Training Program. This teaches you how to consult and coach family caregivers throughout their 6 stages, from when they worry they might be helping a family member to all the way through after caregiving has ended. Our Certified Caregiving Consultant Training Program is what I consider to be our premier program. It was the very first training program I launched in 2016. And I've worked hard to get it where it is today. And I really love where it is today. And I also love the Comfort Care Family Coach program because it's so helpful to connect to someone who understands what life is going to be like as a family member is dying. It's a very specific type of support. I think about support that starts when hospice begins, and that actually is too late. We need support when palliative care starts, as the caree's declines continue, and then really start to increase. Those are the two programs that are going to be on sale, and you can enroll as if you had received a scholarship. And we're going to do a pricing structure that's called Pay What You Want. Yes, I'm going to give you some things to think about and a way to define this, but I want to let you know it really is pay what you want. The sale starts noon Eastern time on April 3rd and ends at midnight Eastern time on April 5th. And here's why I'm doing it. I've been working in this space of supporting family caregivers since 1990. It's a long time. And I have really started to think about, what am I leaving behind? And I want to leave behind what I've learned. I've committed to studying and researching and understand the personal caregiving experience. And I want you to have that. It's important to me that you receive it. I've worked hard to get it. I don't want it to go away. I want it to continue. I'm giving it to you. I also believe that I have studied the personal caregiving experience and the solutions that we want during our personal caregiving experience so intensely that I understand how to support family caregivers in a way that is a little unique in our space. I want you to have that too, because I want family caregivers to connect to support and help that I know supports and helps them. I also want to spread money. So the more who enroll, the more who I can hire. So for instance, I hire certified caregiving consultants to help with mentoring, consultants in our silver level. All this information will be on the website when the sale starts, so you don't have to worry about really figuring it out now, but I'm kind of planting the seeds. So I already hire consultants and I want to hire more. And I also want to hire family caregivers to be part of our oral exam graders. Those who go through our certified caregiving consultant training have to pass an oral exam. And who better to give an oral exam to a caregiving coach consultant than a family caregiver? I want to be able to do that. I want to hire family caregivers to be able to grade our oral exams. And I need enrollment. I need a lot of enrollment. Okay. I also really believe that anyone who's going to do the work of serving and supporting family caregivers needs training. Family caregivers deserve to connect to a professional who has invested in understanding their experience through a training program. I am a lifelong learner. I commit to learning. Gosh, I have been to, I have tried to count how many conferences I've been able to attend. My dad died in July of 2023, and I had not been able to travel the last few years of my parents' life and during the pandemic. But then I was able to hit the road in August, probably 6 weeks after my dad died, because I am committed to understanding what is happening in our space, in the healthcare space, in the employer space, in the wellness space, in our community program space, in our payer space. I am committed to understanding that because I want to make sure we are capturing opportunities as they come our way. And because I'm committed to this lifelong learning, I think it's so important that a family caregiver also connects with a coach and consultant who is devoted to learning and understanding so they can bring their best skills into their work with family caregivers. So there's two stories that I want to share around the importance of understanding the caregiving experience and the importance of closing out your own personal experience. The training program that I developed actually helps you do that, helps you find closure around your experience. I do want you to have a level of peace about your experience before you join the training. And then the training helps you gain greater closure. Two stories. I connected with a colleague who cared for her mom, and she was the primary family caregiver, and her siblings asked too much of her. And so she left. She just stopped caregiving. And she is putting a message out into the world that she believes is helpful for family caregivers, but it's really about trying to figure out, how do I live with myself because I left my mother? She can't reconcile the fact that she left. So she's created a lot of advocacy so that she feels better. It's not advocacy to help family caregivers. It's advocacy to help herself because she hasn't figured out her closure. And I'll give you an example of what that closure could look like in just a minute. The other example is a colleague had an experience with what's called social determinants of health, an assessment. He was going to the doctor. Before the doctor's appointment, the doctor had him fill out a screening, which asked him if he had stable housing, if he had transportation to medical appointments, if he had access to affordable, healthy food. And he thought, well, why don't we ask a question about caregiving? Now, this is something that I've been studying for a while. We actually have our own social determinants of health risk assessment for family caregivers that we teach in our caregiving consultant training. So I'm very familiar with this. And he was very happy that he thought about this and that he thought We should ask a question in the screening to find out who's a family caregiver so we can connect them with support. The challenge is he doesn't understand the experience well enough to actually ask the right question. So here's the first situation. My colleague who left because she thought her siblings were asking too much has advanced this advocacy campaign around we need to report our siblings who don't help us to Adult Protective Services. Now, I had a sibling who did not help. She was terrible, but I would never report her to Adult Protective Services. And the idea that we actually are going to do something like this is a waste. Like, it's never going to help. You can see how in the family caregiver's mind, she left because her siblings were awful. So they need to be responsible for her decision that she left. It's not her decision that she left. It's because of her siblings. So she's trying to pass off responsibility for her decision that she left caregiving. What if she just shared the honest truth? And that is, I felt overwhelmed and didn't know how to cope, so I left. I regret that. I now help family caregivers with coping strategies so they can stay and live a future without regrets. That is much more powerful. And the truth is what connects her to future clients, to opportunities to support family caregivers, because she has forgiven herself for a decision to leave and recognizes she has a unique opportunity to help others so they can stay. She knows what it's like to try to gain peace of mind when you've left. So she could now support family caregivers with strategies that work so they stay. So much power within that statement of truth. And that's what you gain through a training program, through the training programs I've developed. Okay, so my colleague who had experienced that social determinants of health risk assessment came up with a question that he thought would be appropriate to add. And here's the question that he wants assessments to include. Are you a caregiver for someone beyond children? In other words, a person who tends to the needs or concerns of a person, of a person with short-term or long-term limitations due to aging, illness, injury, or disability. When you read that question, you think, wait, what? First of all, we might not call ourselves a caregiver. So right away, I might think, well, I'm not a caregiver. I'm just helping my mom. No, so that's not me. And we also know that family caregivers have children with special needs, challenges with their mental well-being. So if you're a parent who's caring for a child who has a chronic illness or mental wellness challenges, you would say no to this question. And then there are certain phrases that you think, wait, what? So a short or long-term limitations. Well, I don't know what that means, so I'm going to say no. The wrong question means family caregivers say, that's not me. And then they aren't connected to support and help. And then whoever asked the question sees data that indicates everyone is saying no. And so they decide there aren't family caregivers in our community. We don't need to fund programs. We don't need to think about solutions we can offer. There aren't any. The wrong question is really dangerous in our space. And that's the wrong question because it's too easy to say, nope, that's not me. And if we say, no, that's not me, we don't connect to support and help because we're not going to get referred to support and help. And The community doesn't fund support and help because they mistakenly believe there aren't any family caregivers within the physician's practice, within the community, within the workplace. So here's the question. Do you worry about the well-being of a family member? Yep, I do. Yep, I do. This is what you learn in the training program. And you can see how important it is to complete training so that family caregivers opt in, so that a community has an understanding of the number, the population of family caregivers in the community that need help and support. The right question makes that happen. It's imperative that we know these things. It's imperative. It's critical. I always worry a little bit about sharing examples like this because I understand people have intentions that are good. However, we also have to be well educated about the family caregiver experience. We have to be invested in understanding their needs. We have to be informed about the personal caregiving experience. That experience is complicated and complex. We need training so that we understand how complicated and complex it is. Okay, so on a regular basis, people reach out to me and say, can I get a scholarship? And I do offer scholarships. I offered 2 scholarships recently, which made me think, okay, let's just try this. This is an experiment for a couple different reasons. So the pay what you want is an experiment with pricing, and it helps me understand what is the right price for these programs. It also helps me think through what's the real foundation of my work. And this is an insight that I've just thought about that is making me feel so much better. I have put programs together as a way to generate leads for instance, our coaching and consulting program. What if these programs are really what generate leads to other things that I can do, like keynote presentations, consulting within the workplace, consulting within a community? What if I've had it all backward? Wouldn't that be interesting? And again, I have really worked hard to create these programs. I want you to experience that. I want you to better understand what happened to you so you could better understand what's happening to a family caregiver right now. So here's how it works. Really, you pay what you want. I give you guidance around my costs so you better understand the transparency of my business. In addition, I have learned over the years that you do much better when you invest money and time. If there's no skin in the game, you don't pay attention to the game. And I want you to really pay attention to this training. I want you to really focus on it. I want you to commit to it. I want you to complete it. And you'll do that when you think, well, I paid for it. I better finish it. Whatever you can afford, that's what you pay. I also give you guidance around if you pay a certain amount, it covers your costs and it covers one other person's costs, for instance. So it's this idea that you make it possible for yourself and for another former family caregiver. I also want you to reflect on how ready are you right now? How close to having peace about your experience do you have? And you have peace when you can listen to another story of caregiving without jumping in to share yours. That's when you have peace, when you can just sit and listen to another without feeling compelled to say, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. When you have peace, you can receive someone else's story without thinking of your own, without interjecting your own, without needing it to be about you. When you're coaching and consulting, it's about your client. It's not about you. It's important that you have peace, so you bring your best into your work with your clients. And that means your story is taken care of because you're helping someone else take care of their story. In addition, the training is hard. I made it hard. I went through it and thought, how hard should I make this? And then I made it harder because I want you to come out of this program feeling like, wow, I can't believe I did that. That is awesome. I completed that. Okay, here we go. I'm ready. It's hard. It's going to be stressful. It's important you have coping strategies to manage your stress around completing this training. If you still feel raw from your caregiving experience, this might not be the right time. It's important you have coping strategies in place. You also must commit to supporting family caregivers because of this training. I also want you to think about how are you going to earn money as you complete the training and build a business. It is hard work to build a business. I do what I can during the training to help you get ready to do that. It's also important that you do not jeopardize your own financial security, which means how will you earn money while you're completing this training and building your business? And it's okay to have another job. I've had many other jobs while I was building my business. It's okay to have a part-time job. It's okay to have a different freelance gig. I want you to be prepared to have revenue from another source while you complete the training and build your business. It's hard to be successful in your business if you are really, really, really stressed about money. One of the best ways you can generate revenue for your business is to actually have another way of bringing in money because it eases up the stress. Here's another way of looking at it. When you're really stressed about money, it's hard to bring in money. If you have money coming in from another source, you are much more relaxed in your business. And that will help your business flourish. In addition, problems are going to come up for you during the training. It's just how it is. You might have a problem understanding a skill. You might have a problem understanding a concept. You might have a problem with technology just one day where you just think, oh my gosh, I've been on this website. I don't know how many times I've gone through the technology. Why can't I do it right now? It's important that you have an ability to solve your problems. I am available to support you. I have a great assistant, Deanne. She is available to support you. And we want you to practice self-reliance. The more comfortable you are solving your problems, the better you will be solving your problems. I also will include information about the concepts I've developed because you must agree with them. They must resonate with you. If you don't agree with how I've staged the caregiving experience, this is not the training program for you. If you don't agree with how I have described the 17 caregiving systems and our experiences within them, this is not the training program for you. It's important that you look into my theories and concepts and decide that makes sense. I agree. And if you don't agree, this isn't the training program for you because those concepts are the foundation. We build on that during our time together. And then the last one is you must be professional and kind. And I think I'm going to take a zero tolerant policy around this. Sometimes I'll see someone and I think, well, that's a person who's really stressed out, which is why she's unkind. And because I'm asking you to have coping strategies in place, being unkind to me wouldn't be one of those coping strategies. So I do have an expectation you're going to be professional and kind throughout our training. And I'm just going to say it. If you've been unkind to me on social media, this is not the right training program for you. Yeah. We want to do good work, and let's be good people doing good work. And if you align yourself with someone who I know is not a good person, this isn't the right training for you as well. We're good people doing good work. That is incredibly important to me. So much of our time can be wasted with unkind people out in the world, and we're not going to waste our time with that within this training program. It's a waste of time, and we don't have time to waste. I'll have a few more insights about whether or not this is right for you on our page that I'm going to launch for the sale. And here's where you can go on Wednesday morning, to learn more. I'll share the differences in the programs. I'll give you insights into when this is the right program for you. I'll give you some transparency around my costs that can help you figure out, okay, I get it. This is what she wants to pay other people who help her with the program. So here's what I can do. Again, it's pay what you want, and you must pay something. Your investment helps you commit to completing the program. If you don't pay anything, it typically is very difficult for you to stay motivated. Investing keeps you motivated. So on Wednesday morning, go to careyersacademy.com/scholar, or go to our community, caringourway.com. I would also encourage you to join us on caringourway.com. If the scholarship sale isn't right for you now, and you want to be alerted when we have other kinds of offerings like this, then you'd want to join us on caringourway.com, because you'll get a heads up. Just go back to the beginning, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So it's our Comfort Care Family Coach program, and it's our Certified Caregiving Consultant program. Pay what you want. You have to pay something. The sale starts at noon Eastern Time on April 3rd and ends at midnight on April 5th. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Post in the comments section. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.